Welcome to episode 83 of the Nerd Rundown podcast. Coming up this week on the show, we get our first look at Margot Robbie in Barbie, and it looks spectacular. Across the Spider-Verse has Darren and Morgan jacked for the web slinger. The future of the DCU is coming into focus as James Gunn's vision of the Justice League is starting to take shape. On the trailer train, Adam Driver surprises us all with this crazy film called 65. Finally, we get a baller of a NRDbox question from Mike Hodgkinson that everyone is going to want to get in on. Ready? Hit it!
Hey nerds, welcome back to the Nerd Rundown podcast, where we cover the latest in the nerd world of movies, TV, and more. And I do emphasize more this week. I'm Darren Stemple. With me today is my co-pilot, Eric Hare.
Yippee-ki-yay!
That time of year.
Yeah.
Also, the Big Morg 3000, Morgan Santo.
Ho, ho, ho.
Nice. Double win from you guys this week.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
You can find us on our social media like Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube at the Nerd Rundown. While you're there, like, subscribe, all the good stuff. Leave a NRDbox question on the comments. Of course, you could always take a few moments out of your day if you're on the audio-only people crowd. Comment, like, subscribe on YouTube. It helps the show. We got a lot of great things coming up, so you won't want to miss it. Audio only people, you know where to find us. Every single major platform there is. Before we get to a really, really, really great rundown, let's hear a word about our sponsor, Combat the Chaos. Hey nerds, do you support your veterans and first responders? Well, here at the Nerd Rundown, we support our heroes, and not just the heroes that you see behind me that are drawn to wear a cape or throw a shield, but the real heroes who would lay their lives down so that we can talk about whatever kind of nerd we are. At the Nerd Rundown, our new sponsor, Combat the Chaos, is a veteran-owned clothing company. They donate portions of all their profits to veteran and first responder supporting organizations that are focused on mental health and suicide prevention. Veterans are at a 57% higher risk of suicide instead of those who have not served. This shirt is one of the items you can purchase if you follow our link to find them on Instagram at combat.the.chaos, or at their website, combatthechaos.com. And use the code NRD for 15% off. Now, back to the Nerd Rundown. All right, back on the rundown. First up on the rundown, I had a little bit of trouble not putting Across the Spider-Verse trailer number one, but it's just too good to have these two things at the top of our list this week. First, Barbie trailer. First look at the Barbie movie through their teaser trailer. Holy crap, Ola! I can't wait to talk about that with you guys. And then the Oppenheimer trailer, the new movie from Christopher Nolan, came out last night, I believe, during Sunday Night Football. What is significant about me mentioning both these movies at once is they are both slated to come out on July 21st, 2023. So if nothing changes and, Nolan's going to be like, I'm not moving. And the Barbie movie people are, we've got something special here. Do we want to lose some profits and go up against Oppenheimer? Or do we want to dominate the weekend no matter what and show Barbie as an icon? So, Eric, what did you think about the Barbie trailer, the Oppenheimer trailer? And if you had to choose which one you were going to see first based off these trailers, which would it be?
It's Oppenheimer for me,
Okay.
but that's because I am a unabashed Christopher Nolan fan. Although
weren't they like called Nolanites back in the day or something?
yeah, something like that. I'm
Really?
definitely I fall into the Nolanite, if that's what you want to call it, whatever it is.
Okay.
It looks spectacular. It looks. I just can't. I can't wait for this. I really can't. I think it looks. I was a big fan. There was a movie in the 80s, early 90s called Fat Man and Little Boy with Paul Newman about the same thing, about the Manhattan Project. But this one looks like clear that's going to focus on J. Robert Oppenheimer, and so but it's really going to be about the bomb and the creation of the bomb and all that stuff. So I can't wait to see it. I think it looks spectacular. I know Nolan, knows how to spin a yarn, knows how to do all that other stuff. I've heard through rumblings that how they did an atomic bomb explosion without special effects is pretty spectacular. So that's what I've heard, because Nolan is a practical effects guy, which is
crashed a freaking 747.
Yes.
A real one.
A real one.
He flipped that truck for real too.
Yeah, exactly.
In the dark.
So, and I thought the line that they have in the tagline that they've got going for it right now is they won't fear it until they understand it, and they won't understand it until they've used it. And because we're still having that debate today, should we or should we not have dropped the bomb? And it's like, well, we didn't really know what we had until we did it. And then after we did it, we were like, holy smokes, we can't ever do this again. Like this is, this is crazy. So,
but they did it one more time.
Yeah. Well,
let's try it one more time.
Well, we only had two.
You gotta try everything twice.
Yeah. That one could have been a fluke.
Yeah. Turns out I didn't like that. So.
Yeah.
But
at least
I don't want to say that I don't want to see Barbie, because I'm not as excited to see it, but I still I love it in a completely different way. I'll just say that. Like, this feels to me like an artistic, it's a Christopher Nolan artistic movie. It's going to have, that feel to it. It's going to be very dramatic. It's going to, and the material that's going to cover is pretty spectacular stuff, and
I thought you were talking about the Barbie movie there.
No.
It's artistic. But Barbie looks artistic.
But when you watch just that teaser for Barbie, just the last 10 seconds of that teaser, you get to see a lot of just really spectacular stuff. And I'm hoping that it's a lot like the remake of Aladdin was, where it was like a Bollywood type musical. I'm really kind of hoping that it's got musical numbers and stuff like that in it, because that would be
definitely looks like it does. Yeah.
That would be really cool, I think. So, but that one looks spectacular too, just in a different way. It just in a different way. It looks if you could bring that to life, that's what that would look like. It looks really, really great. And I did hear that the I think it's Kubrick family, because the beginning of 2001 is that dun
monolith.
The Kubrick family actually gave them the stamp of approval to do that. And
that's good.
And that actually warms my heart. That just warms my heart so much, because I'm like, you know what, that's a great thing, to do that. I think that's cool. So
absolutely, that teaser, the beginning of that Barbie teaser with that her being the monolith. I'll get to my thoughts. Morgan, you're needing to pick a movie for July 21st. What you picking?
It's tough. No, I mean, I'm going to pick Oppenheimer.
Okay.
Not saying I don't want to see the Barbie. I think it does. That little teaser looks funny, and I mean, my wife will want to see it. Ryan Gosling's in it, so I'll end up seeing it no matter what. But Oppenheimer, I'm the one I'm more excited for. I think Barbie should move their release date just to be safe.
Where are you going to move it
I
to?
think they
should.
We could get into that.
Yeah,
for sure.
That's the hard part, is where are you going to move it to? Because maybe 4th of July.
Know, it's tough.
I guess
it's tough. And these two movies, I think, would draw pretty different crowds.
Yeah.
Well, I don't necessarily agree.
I think it would. But
well, I mean, here's
fantastic.
Here's your lineup. June 23rd is The Flash. June 30th is Indiana Jones.
Yeah, for real. Put it there.
Put it on the Flash.
The Flash.
July 14th is Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning. The 21st is Barbie and Oppenheimer. The Friday is the Marvels. At least it's supposed to be. When could you move it to?
Flash,
because
put it up against the Flash because
we'll
Flash
get
is
into
going to
that
bomb
later.
because it's only being released because it's
done.
It's done.
Yeah. In more ways than one, actually.
Yeah. But I'm sure Ezra Miller's going to beat somebody else up.
Move it up. Move it up
more.
We'll actually get into the Flash here in a little bit. But keeping this Barbie, listen, I think we're underestimating this movie.
I'm not underestimating.
I'm not underestimating it. I'm just going to pick Oppenheimer.
I think it's going to be bigger than Oppenheimer.
Oh, probably.
Number one, you can tell that they have something special on their hands when they pay attention to the small details. First of all, that monolith teaser, amazing. They also gave her the first bathing suit that she ever had for that piece, the first ever Barbie. And you can tell by the lighting that they dull the lighting, make them look plastic, but also not Stepford.
Right. Right.
Not
fake.
Yeah. What's the uncanny?
Yeah, the uncanny valley. Yeah.
Look. Yeah.
Like it looks real. Like if Barbie was, I mean, just the legs on the monolith was like these stance, so they're paying attention to the small details like that.
I'm going to say something. The more I think about
Go
it,
ahead.
I think Oppenheimer possibly should be the one that moves the weekend. And the reason I say that is because, yes, we're all excited for it, but it is still a World War II.
It's a period piece.
Slower moving. You know what I mean? It's not Private Ryan. It's not that. And to be fair, no matter how good it is, it's just not going to pull numbers. Because
I bet they picked it because it was going up against the Barbie. Like whenever they announced it, they're like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna have a Barbie movie."
Two different audiences there. I really think you're looking at two different audiences there.
But you know what?
There is
Barbie
an overlap.
Is an icon is a Mount Rushmore toy. And I'll say there are a lot of nerds who love toys.
Right.
Yeah.
And there is a problem when, if you're looking and somebody just hears, wow, Barbie did that much better than Oppenheimer, I guess I'll check out Barbie. It must be really good.
Well, we're still only talking about first day, so we won't know a lot about like audience reaction up until after the first weekend. But here's another thing where I think that they know that they have something. They show 10 seconds of flashes. They don't want you seeing what's in this movie.
Yep.
They want to save it for the theater. They'll really, of course, marketing will kick in and they'll try to delay as much footage for as long as possible to keep the hype going. But I think they know, and you can tell like Ryan Gosling in the 1 second you can see of him, just the look on his face, and he's doing this thing and he's like dancing. Simu Liu, isn't it?
Yeah.
You didn't know, and then. Minor story detail rumor, pinch of salt, take it with a pinch of salt, is that this will feature all kinds of Barbies, all kinds of Kens, because Barbie's got 189 professions. So why wouldn't you have a ton of different Barbies? And Margot Robbie's Barbie, it's kind of like sick of that Barbie world, which looks spectacular in the 1 second we saw the Barbie world, and tries to go into the real world. That I'm not a big fan of.
I'm not a fan of that idea.
If that's true, that part about going into the real world and being fish out of water, that would kill all the originality in this movie. So I hope they don't go down that route, but I do
be enchanted.
It'd be cool to see a bunch of different Kens, a bunch of different Barbies in the same world.
What's a plot twist that she leaves that, goes to the country, leaves the big city life, runs into Santa, Hallmark movie. Just saying, could happen.
Dude, I'm looking at this lineup. I'm looking at this lineup from I'm looking at this from like February. Like buckle your seatbelt from beginning of February through the rest of the year. It is crazy. It is crazy. February 3rd, you're going to get Knock at the Cabin, which is that Dave Bautista movie. which we
Yeah.
saw a trailer for.
Who made that movie?
I'm not Shyamalan Ding Dong.
Yeah,
Is that an M. Night Shyamalan?
Yeah,
So he's got
yeah.
a built-in audience right there.
Yeah,
Right. You're gonna have
Ant-Man and the Wasp comes up after that.
You get like a week. Yeah, you get like a week off, maybe a week or two off, and then you've got Ant-Man on the 17th, Cocaine Bear on the 24th, which we all know we're gonna go see. Creed 3 March 3rd, Scream 6 and 65 on March 10th, which we'll talk about a little bit later.
I feel like I was about to share some thoughts on that, but
Shazam March 17th, March 24th, John Wick 4, March 31st, Dungeons and Dragons.
I mean, right there, I my movie budget for the year is done.
Yeah,
like and we haven't even gotten to the summer yet.
Yeah.
So let me just give my thoughts on Oppenheimer because I haven't done that yet.
Yeah.
I think it looks spectacular, and actually, my hype went through the roof after watching that. But that's also a movie that what are we gonna, I know it's a Nolan movie. What are we gonna get that's fresh?
Yeah, I don't think so. I think it's a period. Yeah. It's a period piece. You want to see the different take on the character.
What I'm saying is, you're gonna get something way more original with Barbie.
Yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm.
And I can't wait. I'm gonna. I actually watched the the Barbie Toys That Made Us this weekend after that trailer. And if you have not watched Toys That Made Us, oh my gosh,
so good.
Check it out.
It's
Netflix.
so good.
Yep.
Let's move on. We've spent a lot of time on July 21st, but also 2023. We're gonna have when we get into the new year, Presents comes back. We're gonna do our preview for 2023, and can't wait to talk about all these movies. We didn't even get to April, May, June. So next on the rundown, like I mentioned, hard not to put it at number one, but we actually have a Spidey category here. Spidey and his amazing friends. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse trailer released last week. Morgan, I'll start with you this time. I know you're a big fan of the first one. I know you're very excited for this one. What do you think of the trailer?
I'm excited. And they didn't show much, but they did. It's like that's how I'm beyond hype for this.
That's how I felt about Barbie.
Into the Spider-Verse is my favorite Spider-Man movie. So getting a sequel to that, we've all been excited for it for a while, to get some more footage, to see all the different Spider-Men, women, animals, Spider-Verse. You see him traveling through it. Do we know? I don't know. Do we know why 2099 is after him?
We don't know. Here's one thing about the trailer. It didn't even show who's supposed to be the because it's in two parts. In both parts, he's going to be the villain. Is going to be Spot Man, or the Spot. I think it's
interesting.
We didn't see a lick of him.
Nothing of him. Yeah. But I mean, I'm very, very, very excited for this. I'm looking forward to it.
What part of the trailer were you thinking about the most?
When he's just swinging through and trying to get away,
from all those spiders.
All the spiders are coming for him. Yeah. And again, that's I need to know why is every spider after him right now? Except for it looks like our main Spider-Man, still knows he's good.
Yeah.
They seem to be teaming up.
Peter B. Parker.
When, which again, that's the Spider-Man. Shout out to the son.
Peter B. Parker.
Yeah.
One of the best.
One of the best. Yeah. So that I just seeing that, and it's I'm pausing it, and I'm like, I can't even.
Yeah.
I gotta
watched
wait
the
for
breakdown, and I don't think
out
they got
of this
all
because
of
that's just so much there. So I'm really excited to see all of it and what they do, and see Oscar Isaac as Spider-Man 2099. But he does that.
Love that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's gonna be great in that.
But it's another thing. You can tell by the small details. They pay attention to the small details in this. Yeah. And it's just, it's so good.
I'll be there opening night for that IMAX.
This is
guaranteed.
This is for sure. This is for sure an opening night. Did you see the first one, Eric?
Nope.
I
So
just
good.
now remembered that you haven't seen the first one.
Jackson's watched it. He loved it, but I
Yeah.
haven't watched
I
it.
think it's the best Spider-Man.
Yeah, it was one of those movies I was like, I want to watch it. I'll get to it when I get to it.
Yep.
And as soon as I watched it, I was like, why did I wait? Why did I wait? It's so
I
good.
remember going to the theaters with my son, so I'm like, yeah, it's Spider-Man. Yeah, I'll go see it. You know, I go. And I remember walking out of there, and I know I texted the group saying that's the best Spider-Man thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't expecting that. It blew me away. I saw it twice in theaters. Saw it at home a bunch of times. Yeah.
You know, though, here's a question for you more to segue to the next thing. Best Spider-Man is Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse. Hard to get some of these names right.
I know.
Is your favorite Spider-Man movie?
Yes.
But is it your favorite Spider-Man story?
I'm going to say no.
Okay.
But I think my favorite Spider-Man story now is the trilogy we got with Tom Holland.
Oh, okay.
Because I count that as his
one story,
origin story. Once you see all three, you know why.
But you also have to see Civil War and Infinity War and Endgame for that, don't you?
It would help.
I know, yeah.
It would definitely help. But if you're okay with just going, well, must have happened in between movies.
So my favorite Spider-Man story is now Marvel's Spider-Man 2 from the PlayStation. That story is my favorite Spider-Man story, which is really
you know what? I didn't think
hard
about
to say
the
that
Spider-Man story. I forgot about the PlayStation game.
Well, good thing you did, because it was announced in the last week that we have a fall 2023, not an exact release date yet, but a fall 2023 release. One more question for you, Mark. Are you more excited for Marvel Spider-Man 2 or Jedi Survivor?
Honestly, probably Spider-Man 2.
Okay.
I think it's I mean, don't get me wrong. I love both. The first Spider-Man, but like I love Spider-Man. I love the Miles Morales story. I thought that was fantastic that he did, even though it should have been DLC instead of a full game.
It felt like a DLC.
It was. It should have been $15 instead of 60. But you know,
$15.
That was good. And
that shit in my hand.
I don't know. I just feel more connected to that story. I mean, it's, you're playing Spider-Man. I don't know. You just feel more connected, and it was good. Not that I'm not excited for fall, Jedi Survivor, but
yeah,
I think I'm more excited for this. Especially, I mean, we got Venom, and I'm sure that's Kraven the Hunter we're hearing talking. You know, and that, yeah.
I want to see how they're going to integrate the two Spider-Men together. You know, how are they going? How's the gameplay going to work with that?
Yeah, I'm hoping they introduce some sort of co-op.
How is Miles not going to just absolutely overpower everything? Because he was a little OP'd in the game.
So. He can be OP, but
it would be interesting how they level
once you had the sting, you can just destroy everything.
Yeah. Anyway, great news on that. Then we don't have to wait that much longer. I was hoping it would be earlier in the year, but I think they want to get through Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, get that going, which will lead into more sales for the video game where they can make more profit. So I got this thing down to a science. In other video game news, though, next on the rundown, we have a God of War TV series greenlit for Amazon Prime. We're going to do it with where they rebooted the story of God of War, Kratos. I've never played God of War, but Morgan, I know you're our video game guy, so I'm going to ask you first. What do you think about, or let me ask a different question. Could God of War work for a TV show?
That's an excellent question. So, in my expert opinion, now,
you're a video game player.
It can, but again, it just has to be done right. You know, a lot of video game stuff would easily transfer to television. It's just for some reason when people decide to do it, they just go, you know how that game was great? Let's just do everything different.
Yeah.
When we make the show. That's the thing. Like The Last of Us, I have a lot of hopes for because the latest trailer was, I'm like, that's the game.
Yeah.
That was the game.
Yeah.
This, I want to hear some more. I want to see some more, because while God of War is kind of its own story, what they're building it on, it's still, if you play both games, it is still heavily connected to his past.
Mm.
And they reference it a lot, and you just kind of are supposed to understand it because,
Sure.
it's number 4 or 5 in the actual God of War series. So we'll see how they do that. But I have hope, and a lot of it's going to come down to casting.
Yeah.
I think they got to find the right. If they get the guy that voices him, he would be great because he is huge. Looks like Kratos, like he's just big and that voice. So we'll see. We'll see.
Okay.
I'm nervous about it.
Last of Us is going to change things for TV, video game adaptations of TV series, or vice versa. But
that and Mario actually too.
The thing about Last of Us is it was always a cinematic masterpiece.
Exactly.
Exactly. You don't really hear God of War being like, oh, you could put the cinema scenes together and have a great movie.
Right.
So I'm cautiously optimistic, as Eric, you like to say, cautiously optimistic about this. Who do you think would be a good Kratos? Eric, yeah, I said Eric.
Oh, I don't have any idea. I don't even.
Have you not played the game?
You don't even know who he is?
I've never played the game. I don't have any frame of reference.
I've never played the game, but I know who Kratos is.
Yeah, I don't.
He's a good guy.
I don't know.
He's not a good guy, but I mean, he's a guy, that's for sure. He's technically good.
Well, one guy that they could probably get for Kratos that's huge is Henry Cavill, as he's got a lot more free time these days.
And in this, he's an older guy in this.
In God of War?
The one they're basing it on. He's like,
he's an older Kratos?
Matured Kratos.
Oh, so maybe Henry Cavill isn't good then.
I think Henry Cavill could be around the right age, depending on when this comes out.
Okay. Well,
because you just slap the beard on him and shave his head.
Sounds
Bautista.
sick. Yeah, Bautista would be a good
Bautista, he could be. He has the right build.
That's a really good one, Eric.
And he doesn't talk much. That's a nice thing about God. Like, you don't need somebody that needs. You want the
Bautista to talk a lot.
In the newest game, he does a lot of emotions with his face. But I mean, he even calls his own son boy. Like, he doesn't call him his damn name. Like, boy, get that. Like, that's a dialogue. So we'll see how they do it.
Nice. Well, speaking of Henry Cavill, he's always been one of us, always. And one of the things that he's been one of us about is Warhammer 40,000, which is a minifig game. Is that what you would call it? Minifig? That sounds like a Lego thing, but
it's a strategy game.
The strategy game, and you can paint. You get the guys. You can paint them. I don't know how this is going to translate to screen because I don't really know, how what the story of Warhammer 40,000 is. So if any Warhammer 40,000 nerds out there know anything about this story, we'd love to know more about it. Henry Cavill's got a lot more time on his hands, so he's a humongous Warhammer fan. He said he's been wanting to make a movie for 30 years about it. This will be a TV show, so hopefully that helps. Is it a TV show?
Yeah, it's on Amazon. It looks like it. Well,
yeah,
they're not clear about it, whether or not it's going to be a TV show or a film, but it looks like it's something that they're calling it a Warhammer Cinematic Universe is what they're calling it. So whatever that looks like or feels like, I'm not sure. So
then it's going to be a big fantasy series then.
Yeah.
I wonder if that happened, if they were like, Amazon's like, okay, we're going to lose, now that one company owns Lord of the Rings. They're not going to want to make the Lord of the Rings after season 2. And they're like, we need to get a fantasy series going. Maybe that'll be their big fantasy series.
Yeah.
Anyway, speaking of Henry Cavill and having more free time, kind of more DC drama on the way. In the last week, DC, James Gunn, Peter Safran have had a very busy time.
Put on my
And
prophet hat.
Yeah.
and three quick points here, and pass it off to you, Eric, because I feel like you've got something to say over there. The Snyderverse is dead. James Gunn came out and said we are recasting everybody, except for Peacemaker and the Suicide Squad people. So questions on how that's going to work and not make people do mental gymnastics. The Matt Reeves Batman universe will not, after early reports in the week that it was confirmed by James Gunn himself, that it will not be joining the DCU, which is what James Gunn's calling the DC Cinematic Universe. I have thoughts about that too, but and then James Gunn is going to write the first DCU movie, which is going to be a young Superman centric movie. So big time week in the DC world, Eric. I hope this is kind of maybe closing the loop of the drama. Like, hey, this is our vision, or at least this is a vision of our vision, and we know where we're going from here. So do you. You can stop.
I feel like
for the Snyderverse to continue. So
right.
I feel like
more hashtags.
The Emperor from Star Wars, where I say everything is proceeding exactly as I have foreseen. Like, and that's kind of the way I feel about this. Like I've said it the last couple weeks on the show, they're going to lay everybody off. They're going to start fresh. They had to recast. They have to recast because if you're going to build a universe, a 10-year plan, your 10-year plan can't even start for another 3 to 4 years. Like it really can't even start because you haven't even written the first movie yet. So you still have, it'll take you a year probably to write this, script, to get it cleaned up, to get it to where you can, look at it and do something with it. And then you'll have to cast, then you'll have to shoot special effects. And so you're looking at 3 years before your first movie is even out there, 3 to 4 years, which I think is why I'm not concerned about Peacemaker and Suicide Squad, because they really are kind of separate entities. They have their own little section of time right now where you could make Peacemaker episodes. You could even maybe do another the Suicide Squad movie out of this and have it not really have any impact on the DCU itself. It could be standalone, just like Matt Reeves. And this is, Morgan and I were talking about this before we recorded. The Matt Reeves things, I look at that and I feel the same way about it. It's like, okay, they're going to give Matt Reeves like 2 more movies. And they're going to say, hey, you get 2 more movies to make, and then you can wrap up your trilogy, because by then I will have made my Superman movie, I will have made my Wonder Woman movie or my Green Lantern movie, and then I will need to introduce a Batman, and then they'll have a standalone Batman movie. And so you're looking at probably 5 years from now before you'll see, or maybe even 5-6 years before you'll see another Batman movie. At least that's kind of my prediction, because you just can't turn that stuff.
Like a
by what I mean, a DCU Batman movie.
Okay.
You'll see something different. Like I said, you'll probably see 2 Matt Reeves movies, and then they'll be done with that trilogy. I think that's probably what they'll do. Or they'll tell him you're only going to get 1 more picture. So wrap up your Robert Pattinson Batman in this second one, because we're gonna need to have a Batman. But I personally feel like you're gonna get 2 Batman movies out of Matt Reeves, 2 additional ones, and I think everybody would be fine with that. And then like I said, because of that, you need to recast everybody if you're going to do a 10-year plan, because you really are looking at a 15-year plan at this particular point, and so you have to look at a Superman who's going to star in that first movie, and at the end of that 15 years is going to need to be still somebody that you can look at as being Superman. And so it just makes
to be like Chris Evans,
yeah, it just makes sense. Yeah, you start him when he's in 24, so by the time the end of it, he's in his early 40s or late 30s, and he still looks great. It's still so that's kind of my
I will
viewpoint on
say, let me ask about at the end of Peacemaker.
Yeah.
Clearly, Arthur Curry and the Flash are there from the Snyderverse.
Yeah, well, again,
So how do you get around that?
Easy.
Peacemaker, and so for me, Peacemaker and the Suicide Squad will get one or two other. Like, I think Peacemaker will get a couple more seasons at HBO Max, and before the first Superman movie drops, before that first DCU stuff, everything that's a property will be done. Like, and that will be the fresh start. That Superman movie will be the fresh start for everything else.
Okay.
That's my prediction, because you still have to make stuff right now.
Yeah.
Because you can't just and Peacemakers.
Right,
Peacemaker's a good show. It was pretty successful. People liked it. The Suicide Squad was actually pretty well liked. It doesn't cost you all that much because the actors in it are not like huge named people, that you're going to need to go out. You could even recast a lot of it, with the exception of what's her name? The Barbie,
Margot Robbie.
Margot Robbie.
Yeah, Margot Robbie's really, to me, the biggest name in that whole group that could really demand like a
pretty
big
good,
salary or whatever,
She's pretty good at everything.
Yeah, so so that's my thought is you're going to get whatever's in the can is going to go out and is going to get wrapped up. Shazam will get wrapped up. Flash is going to get wrapped up.
That's so bad about Shazam too. It's too bad.
It is. It is too bad.
So, like, I'm not even
But
excited.
I would
Actually,
not
Levi
be-
has some terrible luck.
I would not be surprised. If Shazam does do well, the second one, that you get another movie out of it before things wrap, before they tell you to finish that up. I would not be surprised. But I could be wrong. So that's a wild card there.
See, I feel like they could keep Shazam if they really wanted to, because he's not tied enough to anything else at this point.
He's your friendly neighborhood,
right?
Spider-Man.
Like, we
guy,
had the Superman cameo in that, but you never saw a face,
Right,
so it could be anybody.
Because the Man in Steel suit.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it's like, well,
I'm making the nerd debate on that. That's it. I'm just poking holes in it. So.
I think we'd be willing
I'm right
to
there with
forget
you
that.
on that
I
one.
think we'd be willing to forget that. And then as far as like Peacemaker, I think they'll keep him going as long as he makes money. And they could just blow it off as, if the new Flash shows up or something while they're getting in an argument, you can see the Peacemaker being like, and am I the only one that thinks this effing guy looks different? It's just we laugh because we get it and nobody cares and we move on. You know what I mean?
I think you get
John Cena.
I think you get
right, like he'd deliver it perfectly while screaming.
Yeah, I think you get 2 or 3 seasons more of Peacemaker, and by then it'll have run its course, and
You could even have Peacemaker kill Arthur Curry and the Flash, and it just be like, now those guys are for sure dead.
Right.
We're gonna have to. You won't be thinking about them anymore. Not that.
You could use Peacemaker. You could use Peacemaker and Suicide Squad to wrap up a lot of loose ends. Like you could, because they're not good guys.
yeah. You can just go around killing them all. Somehow.
Right.
Like there's a video game coming out, Suicide Squad versus
really
Superman. Like you could make a
the Suicide Squad kills
movie.
the Justice League, I think is what it's called. It's oh my god, I'm dropping his name. Batman.
It's Kevin Conroy's.
His last official appearance as Batman. Yeah.
James Gunn did come out and say in the last week that Batman is a big part of the DCU's plans, and that's all he would say. So I just feel really, really bad for Henry Cavill, because and who I do not feel bad for in all of this, because there's a lot of stuff coming out about it, is your buddy DJ is not looking very good coming out of this Black Adam.
I know, that's what I'm hearing. If the stuff's true,
I think he overstepped. I think he really did.
For sure did.
I think, and I don't blame him. I really don't, because frankly, the DC, everybody knows that the DCU was a shit show, and so for him to like step in and be like, hey, I think I've you need somebody to come in and lead this operation. And DJ's the kind of guy that's just going to step in and be like, "Hey, I'm taking control of this, and I'm gonna we're gonna run things my way."
He sees an opening.
Yeah, he sees an opening. He's like, "Hey, I'm gonna seize the opportunity here, and if I succeed, this is gonna be great. If I fail, then hey, whatever. I'll move on to the next thing. You know, I'm still who I am." And so, I don't have any negative feelings towards DJ on this. I think he did what he thought was right and was trying to right the ship and trying to do, because I know he's a big fan. I know he's a big fan of Superman. I know he's a big, you think about how much he bullied the studio to get Henry Cavill into that movie, you know, like he is, and it's just unfortunate that the people above the people he bullied, you know, if you will, and pummeled into getting Henry Cavill on there, didn't have a job after that, you know. So it was just like it was he was a big fish and he swallowed some smaller fish, but there's, you know, it's like, as much as I hate to make the reference, but the line from Star Wars where he says there's always a bigger fish.
There's always a bigger fish.
Yeah, there's always a bigger fish.
Oh,
so, yeah. And I think that's just what happened. Is, you know, he made a play. He made a move for, you know, to kind of wrestle the control away, because clearly
I'll gain a little bit of respect back for him though if he comes out and like wins it.
Yeah,
so I don't think
I would like to see that.
I don't think he'd deny it. I think he'd be like, I don't know whether he'd come out in public and say it like that, but I think if you talk to him about it, like one-on-one, like I'll ask him next time we hang out.
Yeah, next time we hang out.
Like, yeah. You know,
I mean, he's got a clause in his contract that he can't lose a fight, so it's he overstepped. He should come out and be like, all right,
yeah.
I wish him a good luck. Blah 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 blah.
Alert.
I'm looking forward to it. I do feel bad for Henry Cavill. I mean, the way it makes that video, and then literally the next day, James Gunn's like, "Hey, I'm gonna be charged here. I shouldn't have done that." But listen, this again, like I said last week, it just frees up Henry Cavill for Scott Summers. So can't wait for that. Moving on on the rundown to the next category of story details. So first on this category, Game of Thrones spinoff Snow, and I'm using quotes because that's what the show is called right now, is Snow. It's the Jon Snow spinoff. Some story details were revealed this week by Kit Harington. And it was really just about where we'll find Jon Snow when this series starts. And it's not in a very good mental place. He's sad about everything that's happened. Not necessarily not about getting the throne, which we are all sad for him on that, but just sad about Ygritte, sad about Daenerys, sad about his whole Stark family is great, you know, splintered off into other parts of the world or dead. So interesting tidbit about the Jon Snow spinoff. Eric, does this get your hype meter up a little bit about the show, where we'll find Jon Snow in the beginning of that?
No, I think I'm already committed at this point. Like, I'm not really until I see some actual footage, just until I see that they're going to start filming this thing. I know I'm terrible, but cautiously, I'm just being cautious here, because I've had, you know, like, I got excited about the Naomi Watts Game of Thrones things, and they pulled the rug out from underneath me on that one. So until this one actually starts filming and I start to see trailers for it and stuff, I'm gonna be, HBO's just done too much damage in my eyes to really give them the benefit of the doubt.
Did they ever film any of that? I can't remember. Did they film?
They filmed the whole pilot.
A
whole pilot episode.
Yeah.
It cost them like $20 million. $20 million to make it, and then they were like, "Nah, it's not."
I could have used $20 million. I don't know about you guys, but
yeah,
it's have that in my back pocket.
Yeah. I could use that.
Morgan, are you excited to see Kit Harington back in the Jon Snow role?
I feel like I'm torn on this. Again, cautious, just, you know, we have to be. And the House of the Dragon was good, but it still doesn't quite make up for everything yet. But I don't know, because the more I think about this show, I just I just don't know what they're doing with it. Like, I get, yeah, he's going through some crap, but like, what is the end goal in this? You know, like you watch Game of Thrones, it's who's going to be on the throne, or are we going to fight the White Walkers? You watch House of the Dragon, we know it's about a fight and how that's going to go. Jon Snow is about I don't know what the end game is to officially be king of the North. To like what is it? Right. That's what I want to know. And so that's why I'm just like I need to see more and really hear what it's about before I can really be like, yes, okay, I'm excited.
I get that sentiment too. I'm very excited to see Jon Snow back on my TV screen, especially with Kit Harington in the role. I think not knowing where the show is with everything else, we've had some bit of precedence from at least novels, books. When it got into seasons 7 and 8, past the books, actually,
sex.
Yeah, 6.
6 is when it started.
6 is when it was past the books. It
took a nosedive.
Also, it took a nosedive. So I don't know. I'm very, very excited for it. After House of the Dragon, that gave me a new vote of confidence getting back into that world. But I will remain as well as you guys cautiously optimistic. There we go. I should have just screwed up and let Meg correct me. Either way, next on the rundown, we got a new synopsis for the Marvels, which actually I was like, okay, I can see this working. I'll read it out here real quick and get to you, Eric, because I know you're excited for this. I know you liked the first one. Carol Danvers, aka Captain Marvel, has reclaimed her identity from the tyrannical Kree and taken revenge on the Supreme Intelligence. But unintended consequences see Carol shouldering the burden of a destabilized universe. When her duties send her to not even sure if
anomalous.
This right, anomalous wormhole. That's exactly what I was going to say.
I bet.
Anomalous wormhole linked to a Kree revolutionary. Her powers became entangled with that of Jersey City superfan Kamala Khan, a.k.a. Miss Marvel, and Carol's estranged niece, Captain Monica Rambeau. Together, this unlikely trio must team up and learn to work in concert to save the universe as Marvels. Ooh, big synopsis. So, Eric, does that get you pretty excited for this one?
Yeah. I mean, it makes me a little bit. Things are starting to fall into place to where I'll get to see some sort of come up. I have not watched Miss Marvel at all on there, and I most likely will not.
I think you should. It's better than I expected. If you go on with the lowest of expectations, it will exceed it by far.
I don't know. Yeah, if we get some time, maybe I'll catch it. But
if you're sick one day and you have nothing to do,
you go into it.
They're like 30.
Be a pile of dog crap. You'll like it.
It's 6 episodes, 40 minutes. You can get through.
Yeah. I mean, maybe I'll get through it. But I things have changed for Captain Marvel for me based on what happened in Endgame and some other stuff. So I'm not sure I'm quite as excited as I would have been had this come out closer to when the first one came out. So, but we'll kind of see. I'm not as
optimistic.
I'm not. Well, no, I was really hyped for the first one, and I thought I really liked the first one, but like I said, things that happened after the movie or during the movie, press stuff kind of turned me off, and so I'm curious to how they're going to go with Monica and Kamala. I think that'll be interesting, and maybe if they detune. I think
Kamala, actually.
I think if they detune Captain Marvel a little bit, that might be helpful also. Hey, she's because they kind of made her all too powerful, if you will, in that movie. And it's like, okay, well, maybe if this one causes her to lose
some of that power.
Yeah, some of that power, and it gets funneled off to the other two. and that's why they have to work together. That does sound
That's
more
a
interesting.
big question I have is like, how is Kamala Khan, Miss Marvel, how is she gonna like team? You know, she's got some power in her own right, but teaming up with Captain Marvel in a cosmic story, I'm like, ooh, she's gonna feel out of place.
Yeah.
Like even Spider-Man felt a little out of
sense.
Even Spider-Man felt a little out of place in space. I don't know. Morgan.
No. No, I'm not really excited for this. I didn't like Captain Marvel, the first one. I like it. Because again, the big problem is like if they show her really struggle in this somehow and really have to build herself up, okay. Then I'm gonna be into it. Because when she was introduced, she was perfect. You know, she got picked on as a kid. Get over it. You know, so it's like that was the biggest problem with her. She was too perfect. And then she doesn't need anybody else. I mean,
I know
that's just fly through everything and kill it. Like she needs no
it's
help.
Really, it'll be interesting for sure.
You know, and she went through some stuff. She got a haircut, like a moody teen. Like, look, I'm different now. I've been through some things. I'm just
attitude.
I can't get in. I need to see some more before I get anywhere excited for this.
Okay. I think it's good that she's going to have these two other established characters with her. I don't think she can carry the story by herself. So while I say it's odd that they're going to team up because she's so much more powerful, I do like the idea. Maybe some of her power transfers to Miss Marvel, or maybe, God, this happens, I'm going to lose my maybe Rogue shows up and takes some of Carol Danvers' power. She does in the comics.
I'd watch it just for that.
Oh my God, me too.
I will say I'm excited to see more of Monica Rambeau. I think she can.
I do. Yep.
She has potential. If she's well written in this, she has potential to do a lot with that role.
Yep. I would like to see the expansion of her character for sure too.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Next on the story details, we got some story details about the new Ahsoka show coming out on Disney Plus next year, which we saw a couple tidbits that we'll talk about later too. But what was really interesting about these details is they will visit, and I know you guys haven't seen the Clone Wars yet, but there's a world between worlds that they can like time travel and go to different places. It's very, very actually makes a lot of sense when you watch it in Clone Wars. So I would say be optimistic about it.
Okay.
But she's going to go to a different alternate world where she actually takes the place of Obi-Wan Kenobi fighting Anakin in the Battle of Mustafar. So no, you guys aren't you guys are not attached to Ahsoka at all, other than what you've seen in The Mandalorian. So Eric, does this like really worry you about the Ahsoka TV show?
No, I don't. I don't have any opinion.
I don't
have any opinion on this.
It doesn't sway you one way or another. It doesn't give you cause for concern. It doesn't give you a little Loki.
No,
no Loki ponies.
I don't know. Like it would continue the Kathleen Kennedy sucks at Star Wars. That's all I'll say. So,
see the sequel trilogy.
Sorry,
what are you talking about?
I'm like, it just doesn't make. I'll watch it. I'll probably watch the first couple episodes of it. I mean, I liked her in The Mandalorian.
Mando.
You know, I thought she was cool in The Mandalorian. But this seems weird that you're gonna replace Obi-Wan with her, and you know, but you can't. you can't change the outcome of the fight. You
That's
know,
why
and
he's
it's still
concerned.
the same. It's still the same
she still
outcome.
gonna
So
get the
now all
high
you're doing
ground?
is
Is
just
she gonna still
swapping.
get
You're
the
just
high
gender
ground?
swapping here and being like, hey, we're gonna, you know,
I know that's why I
fight
ask
this
if
and
gives
all
you
that.
cause for concern.
Yeah,
It
so it's
really
like,
does.
wow.
Like
Sounds like he has an
Either-
opinion and he's concerned.
from somebody who knows about the world between worlds and how it makes sense in the context of the Clone Wars and that TV show, this still gives me cause for concern.
You
So
can't change.
somebody who hasn't seen that stuff in the Clone
And-
Wars should
yeah,
definitely be.
And that's the thing. Like
whoa.
I've seen the first season of the Clone Wars. So I haven't gotten anywhere near anything you're talking. But I guess my question is this difference supposed to be like a weird random multiverse type thing? Like it's not really the universe, it technically happens somewhere else, so our universe is still intact type thing? Because if it is like, no, it completely changes everything, you can't. I mean, that literally can't.
It's supposed to be an
done. That makes no
alternate.
sense.
It's supposed to be an alternate universe. Does that answer your question?
My only hope.
So no.
My only hope out of this whole thing is that if you're going to use this sort of deal, it makes it so that you can eliminate the.
You underestimate my powers line?
If you could eliminate the sequel trilogy somehow by doing this, you know, like you make one change here and you can't change her fate.
This needs to happen now.
But you can make it so that like Rey never happens.
Like, yeah.
Or whatever.
So,
I don't know.
I hope it's a 3-second fight because she comes prepared with a lot of sand and just knows his weakness. Done.
It gets everywhere.
I hate it.
Oh, I hate it. It's coarse. Gets everywhere. Yeah, everybody knows Stan's coarse.
I love that idea, Eric. I love that idea.
Now hearing this, I hate this.
We're not that lucky, just so you know. We're not that lucky.
I hate this because I'm not confident that they're going to do it right in the live action at all.
It's going to feel weird.
Apparently, we're going to see Hayden Christensen again. So
yeah, which
apparently he's going to.
Obi-Wan felt a little weird too. So
yeah,
I didn't mind it. I didn't mind it. I didn't mind it.
Weird.
The flashbacks at least
pointless.
made sense,
Yeah.
but it weren't Boba Fett flashbacks. They were way better than Boba Fett flashbacks. But Andor did the flashbacks right. You know what? Just make Tony Gilroy the new Kathleen Kennedy, and I'll be happy.
Boba Fett.
Yeah.
I think this should give cause for concern from anybody. Moving on to the rundown, we get streaming service announcements. Witch Mountain reboot starring Bryce Dallas Howard for Disney Plus. The original Race to Witch Mountain movie included your buddy DJ Eric.
The reboot of the original Race to Witch Mountain. Yes.
Right. The last reboot, I should say. The last reboot.
Because there was like a 70s or 80s Witch Mountain movie.
I think it was early 80s.
Yeah. Which I remember watching, and then they did a DJ, which is of meme fame. You know, where
very meme fame, very famous meme.
Yep,
and a better movie than it gets credit for.
Actually, yeah, it is. It is. I love Bryce Dallas Howard. She comes from good stock when it comes to creativity and stuff like that.
All things.
So I think she's gonna be terrific. Because her dad Ron Howard is a terrific,
one of the best,
director and creators and stuff. So
you may know him from Happy Days, people.
You may know him from Happy Days, and he's directed a couple
I think that's
of
all he's done,
himself,
right?
So. If that's all he's done, he did great, but he's done so much more. He's a huge. He's in the pantheon, and honestly, we should do a director episode around him and the next director that we have news on. Peter Berg is coming out with a movie with Taylor Kitsch. Naturally, series.
Yep.
Thank you, series. It's a Western, which I'm really excited to see a Peter Berg's vision of a Western and how that's going to work.
Mm-hmm.
But Peter Berg of Friday Night Lights fame, of Lone Survivor. No, not Lone Survivor.
Yep, he did.
Is it Lone Survivor?
Peter Berg did Lone Survivor with Taylor Kitsch.
Oh yeah, I was thinking of
Yep.
American Sniper.
They did,
Lone
they
Survivor.
did that
Yep.
gorgeous movie called Battleship. I can't believe you didn't throw that one in there. So,
Dude, my sister Carrie loves her some Peter Berg and loves Battleship. If you ever see her again,
so
That's probably
I will
the
have to.
choice. That's probably the
I'm going to file that
movie.
away.
Yeah,
That was
File
probably
that
the choice
away.
movie of the
put
year.
that up there in the bank.
Yep.
So Morgan, Peter Berg, Western with Taylor Kitsch.
Yeah, man.
How can you go wrong, right?
Peter
I'm in.
Berg's done a Western before.
I don't even need to see a trailer. I'm in.
Yeah,
Like,
I agree.
Yeah, right.
I love
Right.
Westerns. Yeah, I mean, they're a good duo. We know they do well together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm in.
Yeah,
I'll
he's
definitely watch this, I'm sure.
He's his Bobby De Niro. Taylor Kitsch is
I mean,
Peter
unless the trailer's released and for some reason looks like the most god awful thing in the world. I mean,
that's what it's gonna take for me not to watch it.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to watch it and go, oh,
between him and
CW.
What's his name? Wahlberg. I think him and Wahlberg have worked together a lot too.
Him and Wahlberg.
Yep.
Did he do that? Fireman story, in the woods, or
he did not.
with Josh Brolin. That wasn't.
No,
that wasn't.
Yeah.
He did the Deepwater Horizon.
That's what I'm thinking. Deepwater Horizon. Okay.
The one you're thinking of was actually Kaczynski, who did Top Gun Maverick.
Top Gun.
Yeah.
Oh,
he
that's
did
right.
Top Gun Maverick. Yep. He did that one with those guys. Only the Brave, I think is what that one's called.
Brave,
and that is a really, really, really great movie about the Prescott fire guys.
I just
talk about heartbreaking.
It is probably the most heartbreaking movie I've ever seen. Like, I was just like, you want to talk about being an emotional mess after that movie.
And you want to have a quick link between our show and Peter Berg?
Yeah, I would love it.
Peter Berg actually directed a little movie called The Rundown.
Oh yeah, with your buddy
DJ. With my buddy DJ. And what's his name?
It's actually probably my favorite rock.
Oh my gosh, it's so good. It's so good. Sean William Scott.
I love Christopher Walken in that
Christopher
movie.
Walken. It's so good.
And Sean William Scott's actually like not annoying.
No, he's not. Right. He's terrific. Like you want to beat the hell out of him, just like Dwayne Johnson does. But it's like it's fine. Yeah, it's fine.
Right.
And then
they have the guy who Laszlo from Real Genius or Uncle Rico.
Uncle Rico, yeah.
All right, and he's on the White Lotus these last couple seasons. Love that guy. He's in that. He's like his right hand man, I think.
Yeah, Peter Berg. We love.
Man, that movie is good. Love Peter Berg. So we have a lot of candidates for some of our director episodes for Nerd Rundown Presents. Put in a vote on who you want to see as our next director episodes, where we dig into their filmography. We've done what was the director we did? We did Michael Bay.
We did Michael Bay. Mm-hmm.
Did Michael Bay?
What else did we do?
I feel like we did somebody else.
Did we do Cameron?
Somebody else.
I know we did actors, but
I don't think we did Cameron.
Was it Cameron?
No, we didn't do James Cameron yet. Or maybe it was Jimmy.
Who else?
Maybe we should after Avatar.
Yeah.
All right, so that's the rundown. Let's get to the trailer train. Where first on the trailer train, you get something that pops up, and you get on your phone, I should say. Let me just rephrase that. You get something that pops up on your phone or your computer screen.
Thank you for.
And you say,
for qualifying.
You say, what the F is this?
Right.
There is no way that this is going to be entertaining. I got done with that 65 trailer. That's what it's called. 65. Yes. It stars Kylo Ren. What's his name?
Adam Driver.
Adam Driver. I got done with that and I put my phone down. I'm like, that was way better than I expected.
Yeah, right.
It was way better than it had any right to be.
Yeah.
Like, what did I just watch? That looked amazing.
Right.
What did you think of it?
Yeah, Morg, what did you think?
You don't want to go, Eric?
No, I want Morgan to go first. I want to hear what Morgan has to say about that.
What do you think?
He needs to say.
Sorry
for this. I mean, because that's what on my phone, it just popped up like 65. And with that, I'm like, oh, I never even heard of this. And it did the little tease where like he's in a cave and you don't know what's going on. You're like, oh, this is cool. And then they did the trailer and I'm like, wait, time travel, dinosaurs. Yes.
Adam Driver.
Yeah.
Adam Driver shooting dinosaurs. I can't wait to see this.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be, I'm not saying it's going to be great, but it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
I think it'll be fun.
I wanted to
Eric,
hear what
are you
had
ready to
say.
share your feelings?
I wanted to hear what you had to say about it.
As long as the CGI is up to par.
Because
Which it looks like it is so far.
Yeah. I feel the same way as both of you. I watched this and I thought to myself, oh, Lord, this is going to be a load of crap, And then I got done with it and I'm like, first of all, I can't wait to show this to Jackson because the kid is a dinosaur. He's a maniac when it comes to dinosaurs. So I watched this and then I thought to myself, man, this is actually really cool. This is like a really cool idea. And I'm like,
I was like, that dinosaur.
But I don't think it's exactly how you think it is. Like, I don't think it's time travel. I think it's humans 65 million years ago from another world who are passing through our solar system, and he crashes on here and you get people. I think that's how it starts.
Wait, say that again.
It's 65 million years ago, but I think, and maybe they get here and then they come back later or something. I don't know.
Right, like
I just
he's
think
from a long time ago in a galaxy far,
I don't
far
think
away.
it's time travel. Like, I think it's
that's exactly
humans,
what you just described.
It's humans from a different solar system.
Timeline?
No, humans from a different solar system that are passing through our solar system 65 million years ago, and he crashes and he has this thing with dinosaurs, and then later on humans then come and to rescue him or to I don't know. Anyhow, I don't think that it's time travel. I really don't. I think that it's humans from a different. Does it make sense? It might not make any sense.
So what Eric's saying is he's a human that's from 65 million years ago.
Right.
Just from, like, let's say another planet, and he's traveling and just happens to crash into our planet.
Happens to crash on Earth.
So he exists at that time. He didn't time travel. That's just when he existed.
He was on this planet.
Because time is a loop.
No.
See, now I'm nervous.
Yeah, I'm not explaining it.
Time is a loop.
So we'll see.
How do you feel about multiverses?
Time is a circle. Time is a circle.
Time is a circle.
Yeah. What is it? That's the Happy Gilmore, right? That goes around, up and down.
No.
Yeah, I'm thinking he's traveling like this, and then he gets hit by the asteroid, and he goes this way, creating a whole nother timeline.
That's still time travel? No. We'll see.
I think time travel.
I'm gonna want to watch this as soon as it comes out, so we'll figure it out at some point. We'll probably even get a bigger,
we're not gonna wait long because this one's sneaking up on us real quick. This one is in February, isn't it?
Oh, that's right.
Oh, wow.
I think it is.
Yeah, March 10th. March 10th. Okay. So you only got like 3 months to go, basically.
Morg, you sent that to our group, and I was like, I'll watch that when I get a chance. And then I got sent to me by like 4 people, 4 other people. Like, did you see this? And so I'm like, fine, people, I'll watch it. Jeez. I was like, I gotta watch that again.
Yeah, that's cool.
So it was a great trailer. Loved it. A lot of great trailers in the past week, to include a little teaser for Scream 6. I have not seen Scream 5, so I don't really know, the story, how it goes to New York. I like that they are moving it to a different location, to a big location. It's happening around Halloween, so it can be a little bit fresh in that. So this actually, I watched this and it made me want to watch Scream 5, which I haven't had a lot of hype for. Plus, I really like it when they make the logo into the number into the logo. I always like when they do that.
The little things.
So I was like, yeah, it's the little things. Exactly. So I watched this and I was like, okay, I got to watch Scream 5 now. Now I want to understand, because I'm pretty sure that girl, Jenna Ortega, who's like blowing the world up right now from Wednesday, the TV show Wednesday. she's in this, and just looks cool. I was impressed. Morgan, what did you think?
Yeah, I don't care about this. I saw Scream 5. I did not like it like a lot of people did.
Okay.
There's just some things in there, especially revolving the reveal. I'm not going to say anything.
Sure.
That made me go like, what?
Okay.
I don't know. Like that was I liked it right up until we got to that point, and then I was like, the movie just was ruined. So it's hard to explain. Like you just got to see it. It's one of those you got to see it.
Okay, I get it. Did you see it, Eric?
Didn't see Scream 5. Haven't watched the trailer for Scream 6. So, can we get to the NRDbox question?
No, we've got one other thing we need to cover before the NRDbox.
Let's get to that because I really want to get to the NRDbox question. So
we also want to get to that. Believe me. The last thing on the rundown: 2023 Disney Plus hype video. You know how I love me some hype videos. It was not as good as the HBO Max one a few months back. But we did get to see a couple snippets of Secret Invasion, which we didn't see before. So that was some new footage. We got to see some new footage of Ahsoka, which we just talked about. And then we also got a couple new snippets of Loki season 2, which I was very happy to get, even if it was just a couple snippets. Get to see Mobius and Loki back together, and with more Lokis. Yeah. So no jet ski yet. This show doesn't end in a freaking jet ski ride. Did it hype you up, Morgan?
No.
Did it hype you up, Eric?
Negative. NRDbox.
Let's get to the NRDbox question.
Not that great of a video.
I was excited to see the two things that you mentioned, the Secret Invasion and the Loki stuff. I was excited to see just a little tease of that, but other than that, no, didn't really. It was cool to hear what's his name's voice. I thought was cool. Timothy Olyphant, yeah. So
Timothy Charlemagne.
Yeah. All right, for the NRDbox question, we get one of the best submitters of questions. He always has pretty good questions. Mike Hodgkinson writes in and says, "Build your commando team. Do not use superheroes or powered up people. You got to use movie characters. They can be like real people that are in a movie, like American Sniper. You could pick, Chris Kyle as the Bradley Cooper Chris Kyle as your, long range specialist, if that's what you want to do. I hope I didn't just spoil alert anybody, but Mike has one of the best lists I've ever seen for anything of anything. So his first team is here it is. Okay. So what we have for what the team that you have to build is you have team lead, second in command, a comms guy or girl, weapons specialist, stealth person, long range specialist, nerd, and you got to have a badass chick. And then you also got to have a wild card. So he gave 2 lists, and I really applaud him on this. His first list isn't as good, in fact, not complete at all. But he says his team lead would be A.K. Waters, Bruce Willis in Tears of the Sun. His communications would be Church from the Expendables. Weapons would be Jackal, Bruce Willis. Mm-hmm. Oh, I get what he's doing.
Think of that.
You didn't see it?
I saw it with okay. So
Bruce's.
They're all Bruce's.
We just have Bruce and everything.
Yeah. So hold on. This is actually his second list, and his first list. I should have known. What was I thinking? So his weapon specialist is the Jackal. His stealth is Corbin Dallas, and his wild card is John McClane. His first list, which really set the tone, I should have started with this one. I thought he gave me one of all actors, and they gave me 2 of all actors of the same actor. But his team lead is Dutch from Predator. Communications, Harry Tasker. Weapons specialist is John Matrix from Commando. His stealth person is Douglas Quaid from Total League. His wild card is Ben Richards from Running Man.
Yeah, the Running Man.
And
oh my
then,
gosh, I need to watch The Running Man. Gosh,
his nerd is Victor Fries from Batman and Robin.
That's good.
His long range specialist is John Kruger from Eraser.
Yeah.
Great pick right there. Second in command is Jack Slater, Last Action Hero. And last but not least, his badass chick is Alex Hesse from Junior.
Yeah. Can you imagine watching that movie just constant?
That's the movie Arnold got pregnant in, by the way.
Yeah,
You're wondering.
right. He does in that film.
I cannot wait. I'm going to start with you, Morgan. Who is on your commando team?
So I'd like to point out that the no superheroes and stuff would have been information that was useful yesterday. But I did quickly change.
Make an adjustment. Okay.
My team lead, I have James Reese.
Oh, all right. I like it.
James Reese.
Terminalist.
Oh, yeah. I was like, that sounds so
Chris
familiar.
Pratt's character, Terminalist.
Yeah.
James Reese.
Okay. That's a good one.
Second in command, I have Captain Kirk.
Oh.
Okay. I think he could be a good second in command.
Does not play well with others.
Take over.
Yeah,
he doesn't, but I think he'd be good.
You're inviting drama into your house.
Right.
Well, I'm trying to make it entertaining too.
He's looking to usurp you at any moment. Just so you know.
For comms, I have Benji.
Good. Yeah, Benji.
Mission Impossible.
Benji.
Yep, that's a good comms guy.
Great comms guy.
Weapons, I had to go Q.
I
had to go Q from James Bond. I feel like he's going to create some good stuff for you. I'm going Q.
I like it.
Stealth, I have Sam Fisher from Tom Clancy.
From what's that game?
Splinter Cell?
Splinter Cell.
Splinter Cell. Yep. Yeah.
Does that count? Yeah, because they won a movie.
I'm gonna give it to you on a technicality. I'll give you a technicality.
On a short notice.
Yeah.
Is there a Splinter Cell? I'm sure there's a Splinter Cell.
How have they not made a Splinter
Okay, so let me rewind you there before you go. Who was your pick in that role? Is that a last minute drop in because of the superhero stuff? Did you have somebody else in there? Okay.
I originally had two in there, and I was gonna try and narrow it down. Because when I had superheroes, I had Mystique.
Yeah.
And then I also had the Flash. Because he can move so quick, you just don't see him. And then, it's the Flash.
Yep.
Okay. Wild card.
Ezra Miller Flash or Grant Gustin?
We're going to go. That's Ezra Miller Flash. He's going to cause a problem.
He really, really wants some drama.
Yeah. We're going TV show Flash.
Okay. So your stealth guy was who again, though?
Stealth guy, Sam Fisher.
Okay. Long range specialist?
Wild card, long range specialist. I went with Chris Kyle. He allegedly holds the record for the longest kill.
Most kills.
Need him.
Most kills.
All right. So what are we on now? Stealth guy, long range, nerd.
Yep. I have a nerd in your group.
Egon. For my nerd. I think he'd be good. He's a good nerd. I mean, come on, he's useful.
He's a great nerd. He's one of the best nerds.
Okay. Badass chick, I have the Bride, which is all she's known as, Kill Bill.
Yeah. That's
right. I mean, when we're talking badass chicks.
Yeah.
Remember, my team's here to win. That's what I'm going for.
I got you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, my wild card is
team's going to eat each other alive.
Yeah, team's just going to kill each other. My wild card, because I need to liven up the room. I need to have somebody that's going to be fun, that you don't know what they're going to do, but they're still capable. Austin Powers.
You can't bet against that, dude.
I'm just saying, you can't bet against Austin Powers. You don't know what he's going to do. You're going to need him, and he's just throwing a concert in his home, playing music, complaining about his dad. You don't know what he's going to do.
All right. Well, what's his best pick there, Eric? What do you think? That's a good list.
Yeah, that was a good list. I actually love the I love the nerd pick there. That was a sleeper that I did not see coming.
I have a similar guy. I'm glad that
Oh.
I like
glad you
the
went Egon.
nerd. I like that as the nerd.
I got confused.
My nerd is a
list.
little bit. My nerd's a little bit different. He's a different type of nerd. So
Well, Eric, funny you say that. 'cause
Yeah.
Who would your commando team consist of?
So I, as usual, play by a different set of rules from everybody else, and as usual, I limited myself to the 1980s. So only movies,
Oh, jeez.
only movie
It
characters.
is the commando era.
It is, yeah. So,
Okay.
all right. So my team lead naturally would be Major Scott McCoy from the Delta Force, Mr.
Yeah.
Chuck Norris himself. So,
Yeah. Okay.
my
Make a
comms,
Chuck.
Really good team lead there, buddy.
Yeah.
my comms is Private Hudson, Bill Paxton from Aliens.
Oh,
Game over, man.
Game over, man.
yeah.
What are we gonna do? Weapons specialist would be a
Wait,
young.
did you
Wait, did you do second in command?
Command?
Sorry. Second in command would be Dutch, Arnold Schwarzenegger from
Yep.
from Predator.
Really strong.
That's a good one.
Second
Yeah.
command.
My weapons specialist would be a fella by the name of John Rambeau.
Mhm.
He would be my weapons guy. See, he's pretty good with like machine guns and bows and arrows and basically
that's-
anything. A
Yeah,
knife.
He could
The
he
guy
could
just
kill
can
you
do
with
everything.
anything.
Yeah.
Um,
Although it was tough. I will have to tell you that it was tough not to put him in my next role, which is the stealth guy. I will.
He'd be good stealth.
Which I did Snake Plissken as my stealth guy.
That's a good
That's a
one.
good
That's a good one.
He goes in nicely.
Mm.
Wild card. Could you do anybody
What she
else
said.
but John McClane? Is the wild
Well,
card?
he is a perfect
He
wild
is a
card.
wild card.
Our
my
submitter
long-
did
No Austin Powers, but
did have John McClane as one of his wild cards.
Long range specialist for me would be a fellow by the name of Martin Riggs.
Mm.
rigs.
It's the only thing he's done. He
Might
does
be a
he
better
does
wild
well,
card, actually.
He when he was 19, he did a guy from 1,000 yards in high wind. So
He'd be a good wild card.
okay,
He
so
literally
the
is a wild
nerd.
card. Yeah,
Mhm.
who's your
Yep.
nerd from the
You
80s?
guys are gonna love this. Indiana
Right.
Jones is my nerd.
Oh.
Professor
Think of that.
Professor
Hey.
Indiana Jones.
That'd be good.
So-
Hey, I
didn't even
like
think of
it.
that. I didn't
We
think of
are
that.
all a nerd in our own way.
yes,
Man, he's a nerd about.
he's yeah.
He'd be perfect.
My badass chick.
Yeah.
This was actually tough. This was really, really tough because there are two badass chicks from the 80s.
Yeah, who'd you pick?
It's
Who'd you
either
go with?
Ripley or
Yeah,
Yeah,
I went with Sarah Connor.
Oh, okay.
Sarah
Okay.
Connor.
But was she badass in the 80s?
Dude,
She got
by the
badass
end
in
of
92.
well, if you take her from the end of the Terminator movie all through the 80s, she is prepping to where you see her
That's
in
true. Yeah,
1990.
that's when she gets really badass.
becomes
You're right.
that. So yeah.
But
So-
don't forget how badass she was in Terminator 5. I forget which one
we're
where
not
they
going to talk about
redo
that.
the first
Yeah,
movie.
just stop it, Morgan. Just stop it.
I did have
having fun here,
another
Morgan.
I did have another category that I don't know if you guys picked up on, but I had another one where you
No.
had like a non-commissioned officer position. Like this would be, you have like your two lead officers and then you have like your sergeant guy.
Yeah, your sergeant, who's
And
the leader of the troops.
Right. And I went with Gunnery Sergeant Tom Highway from Heartbreak Ridge, a little movie called Clint Eastwood's Gunnery Sergeant Tom Highway.
Well, that's okay.
Got nothing for that.
Yeah, that's a really good addition.
Anytime. Yeah, anytime.
I tried to get all of the big guys in there. I got you know
From the action.
from the 80s action guys. I mean, the only ones that I missed I think were a couple of karate guys.
I was gonna say the kung fu guys.
Kung
like
fu
you didn't get
guys.
Seagal or
and maybe that's
Van
another
Damme.
character that we add in at some point. You got to
Well,
have
there's
a
got to
kung
be
fu
like
Honestly,
a
you could've just
hand-to-hand,
put Chuck
like a
Norris in
hand-to-hand
everything.
guy.
A hand-to-hand
Well,
specialist.
Chuck Norris is your hand-to-hand specialist.
Yeah,
He's you only need one of him. You don't need him like multiple of him.
That's
you
true.
just need Chuck Norris.
That's
That's
true.
true.
So I got Chuck Norris, Bill Paxton, Sylvester Stallone, Kurt Russell. I got Mr. McClane, Bruce Willis, Martin Riggs, in Mel Gibson, Harrison Ford, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Clint Eastwood, and then Linda Hamilton. So I think it would pretty well.
Who's our guy that's a day away from retirement?
That would be
Danny Glover.
Danny Glover.
Yeah, do we all do?
Murtaugh, you got to get Murtaugh.
You got to get Murtaugh in there.
He'd
All
be a
right,
good
let's
sergeant.
hear it. Let's hear it, big man.
All right, yeah. So my team lead would be Ethan Hunt. He's a good plan. He comes up with a good plan all the time. My second in command is actually a female. I felt like, including more women. Lagatha from the Vikings TV show. She was like queen of the Vikings for a while. Really badass chick, played by Catherine Winnick. One of my all-time favorites. My comms guy is Gib from True Lies. My weapons specialist is Tyler Rake from Extraction. I actually had him as my stealth guy. And then I think Meg, which we got to read Meg's answer. We can't forget Meg's answer. Where was I? Weapons specialist. So Tyler Rake from Extraction. That guy used a lot of different things to kill people in that movie. So I feel like he just knows a lot of weapons. My stealth guy is Arthur Bishop, Jason Statham's character from The Mechanic.
Oh.
Which is a really, really underrated movie if you've never seen it. My long range specialist is Bob Lee Swagger from Shooter.
Oh, yeah,
Wahlberg.
that's right. That's Wahlberg.
Yeah,
one of my favorite names of all time, but also just
sounds like an assassin.
Really,
that's like
great movie.
Bob Lee Swagger.
Bob Lee Swagger, yeah. He and honestly, just a great movie. My badass chick is
You're a nerd.
the Angel of Verdansk, Rita.
Oh, Rita Vertasky.
Rita Vertasky.
Yeah.
From Tomorrow Never Dies.
No. The Tomorrow War.
Tomorrow Never Dies.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
James Bond. Tomorrow Never Dies.
Talk about James Bond?
Sorry.
Or the Tom Cruise. Emily Blunt.
What are we talking about? Who are you talking about?
No, it's
not the Tomorrow War.
Edge of
it's,
Tomorrow. Edge of Tomorrow.
Yep.
Edge of Tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Edge of Tomorrow. It also was for a short time Live, Die, Repeat or something like that.
Who said that?
Yeah.
Did you say the thing about what Tom Cruise said to her on set?
I did.
Emily
Did
Blunt?
Yeah, Emily Blunt.
I love
she crying about the exosuit because it weighed like 80 pounds and stuff. I'm going to say a bad word, people. So
Okay.
Cover your ears, darling.
But she was just crying and crying about, because
Language.
she didn't know how to get through this. And Tom Cruise just looked at her and told her to quit being a pussy. And she goes, "It worked.
It worked."
She's like, "I laughed."
She's like, "I laughed." Yeah.
I mean,
Really
did
funny.
you guys watch that Mission Impossible
Tom
behind the
Cruise, man.
scenes?
Yeah. It was
He's nuts.
the
God
dude
bless
is.
that man.
God bless him. Like the guy's
Or
is a
God
treasure.
bless him. God
whatever.
him. I don't know what they believe in. All right, my wild card.
Space aliens bless him. Whatever it is.
Yeah. Some space aliens.
No offense to anyone that's believes that.
I mean, if they're real, they're real. You never
Slight
know.
offense, but no offense.
I mean, he's doing great, so he's got to have some secret.
Yes, that's true.
My wild card is Marty McFly.
Love
And
it.
He comes with the DeLorean, so that adds a new layer of power. to
Love
the
it.
team.
Yep.
But my nerd also can help my weapons specialist, or at least be the arbiter of the weapons in Wayne Zelinsky. He is an inventor. He can invent some shrinking weapons. We can win very easily with that.
Or he can make you a giant baby.
Or he can make you a giant baby.
You don't know.
Wayne
But he was-
Zelinsky. Wow.
Wow.
That
I didn't
is-
think of that.
Way out of
Wayne
left field, and God, I love you for that, Darren. That
That's
is
a good one.
I mean, anytime you can work Rick Moranis into
I know,
this,
I just want to be around Rick.
I actually
Moranis,
feel
okay?
bad that I didn't put Lewis. I had to put Indiana Jones in, but having Lewis as my nerd would be pretty doggone good too. That is
I
great.
mean,
That's true, yeah.
I would kiss you right
it-
now if I could, if we were.
Thank you. Thank you.
Beautiful.
I loved putting this team together. Let's read Meg sent in her answer since she couldn't join us. She's traveling for the holidays right now. She sent in her list and her husband Johnny's list. So I'll read Johnny's list first. Yeah, his is great. His team lead is John Rambo from Rambo.
Rambo. First blood. Yep.
Cobbs. Great pick here. Theo from Die Hard.
Yes.
You didn't just bring him along for his personality.
You did not.
Also his comms. And his ability to hack safes. His weapons. I mean, he put together a strong list.
Yeah.
Lucius Fox from the Dark Knight series.
Brilliant.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
And then you get Morgan Freeman on your team too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could you just read this, Morgan? This is just stereo instructions. It's fine. I just need you to read this.
Read our plan. Read our plan. It's going to inspire us when you read our plan. His stealth is Rick Ford, which is Jason Statham's character from the movie Spy. His wild card is Data from the Goonies.
That one is my favorite. Like
that is
freaking love that.
Like, I mean, maybe Martin Riggs might be the biggest wild card, but also Data from the Goonies.
He's so good. My pitches of power.
So good. So we didn't tell them that we added to the list, so they didn't get the badass chick or the nerd or second in command. So we really did that so that we get more comments from Meg on the YouTube.
Yeah.
And Johnny too needs to put in his extra characters. Anyway, Meg says her lead is Hannibal, Liam Neeson's A-Team. Hannibal.
Okay. I love that. I would not go with Liam Neeson's A-Team, but I would have gone with the original Hannibal. But I love that.
Yeah.
But I love that.
I don't think she knows the original Hannibal.
Yeah, I know. She's too old. Or I'm too old, so it's fine.
Meg is young, very young.
She's very young.
Her comms, though, might be my favorite pick. The comms are Susie and Dustin from Stranger Things.
Like what?
Completely out of left field. Would not have thought about that. But it makes total sense. It makes total sense.
I mean, they were able to radio each other from states away.
Yep.
Across the country as kids. Imagine what they do with resources.
And what they did in season 4 with them was terrific.
Imagine
like I really loved Susie in that one.
Yeah.
Now her next pick is Merlin from the Kingsman movies, which I don't know.
Oh my gosh! Have you not watched any of the Kingsman movies?
No, I've seen the Kingsman movie, but I don't know which character.
He's the comms Johnny.
Yeah.
He's got the bald head.
Yeah.
He was in. He was the bad guy in Shazam.
Oh yeah. What's his name? He was the bad guy in Shazam and Green Lantern and.
I think she picked him as the comms guy.
He's really great.
Guy?
Oh, what is his name? He was the bad guy in.
Snozberries taste like snozberry.
He's the comms guy. Wasn't any better.
Mother effer. What is his name?
I'll find it.
No, Adam. No.
Yeah.
Something more British.
Mark Strong.
Is that what it is? Yeah. Maybe not.
Works through that one. Yeah. Yep. Great one. And then her stealth is Tyler Rake. Like I said, great pick there. And her wild card is Harley Quinn from the Suicide Squad. That's a great pick too.
For sure, probably the most wild of all wild cards.
That Suicide Squad. So post breakup
card. Yeah. Yep. You just never know what you're gonna.
Oh, I noticed too. I like that. Me, Meg, and Johnny. When it came to weapons, we picked like the behind-the-scene weapons guy. The one that's making it. Where it came to weapons, you picked somebody that like handles weapons and knows how to use them.
Yeah. Well, and I picked Wayne Zielinski as an inventor to be that, but I also picked him after I had already assigned Tyler Rake as the weapons specialist. So it kind of worked out. But we get more, I just want Rick Moranis in my life.
Amen.
Great. Great question. Mike Hodgkinson. Thank you for sending that in.
Yeah.
That made my night.
People's answers on this one.
Yeah, send in your answers, please.
I want to see Captain Dunsel's that he comes up with for this.
Oh, he's probably got a good one.
Oh, he's going to go deep.
He's going to go deep.
Good.
How about no Star Trek characters, Captain?
Oh no!
Or only. I would like to see only.
Do an only Star Trek team.
And the only reason I didn't pick Spock as second in command is because he technically has some powers I would consider, but I figured that would be too much of a technicality to get away with.
I would think it would be cool if you could only block out like sci-fi movies and be like, hey, you can only. You have to fill this out using only sci-fi characters. Like, these characters can only come from sci-fi movies. So Star Trek, Star Wars.
Only pick children from cartoons. Like Tommy Pickles as team lead.
Like you could have a lot of fun. I
just want to be around Catherine Winnick and Emily Blunt too. Can we make that happen?
You could have a lot of fun by restricting yourself to certain categories.
It would be really fun. It would be really fun to stick to certain actors or categories. I think Mike did a great job doing.
Some of them would be, like you'd be all Bruce Willis, I love
Arnold
Schwarzenegger, all Stallone.
It's hard to do a badass chick when you have all Arnold.
They all had to have done something.
That is terrific.
You could do like an all Robin Williams, all Matt Damon.
Yeah, I mean, we got Mrs. Doubtfire.
She'd be my badass
card is the genie.
Anyway, send in your commando team. We can't wait to hear it.
No superpowers.
Yeah, no super, or do all superpowers in one team, and then do another team of non-super powers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
the team would be a lot different with superpowers.
It's just fun when you don't use superpowers.
Right.
It's more fun. I mean, I could just say the Avengers.
Yeah.
There's your commando team. Like that's.
I almost picked Ned for my guy in the chair.
It's not he pulled up the specs on that car pretty dang quick.
Mm-hmm.
In Homecoming, I think.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Watching porn.
Watching porn.
I still laugh at that one.
Good cover.
Yeah. Not helping Spider-Man, just watching porn. All right, guys. Thanks for a great show. So much on this rundown. I'm looking forward to so much. I'm cautiously optimistic. So we're on the same page on a lot of things. And I can't wait to see more Barbie. I don't know if that sounds weird or not, but this movie really, 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 really intrigues me. I don't know what's going to happen in Oppenheimer. So I'm excited. Just know a bomb is going to go off there and be like, oh, we're afraid of this. Let's try it one more time. No, but seriously, Cillian Murphy.
Yeah.
He might get nominated.
Oh,
this might be
this
might be a movie he can be nominated, and nobody does suspense better than Nolan.
Yep.
So even though the bombs were going off or whatever, that movie's gonna be so suspenseful. There was some pictures that were released. Robert Downey Jr. looks almost unrecognizable in that movie. Just paying attention to the details, and that's something Nolan does better than almost anybody. So, I like that as the theme move tonight. Let's pay attention to the small details. We can all learn something from Nerd Rundown, I guess.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, with that being said, guys, we'll see you all next week on the Nerd Rundown.
See ya. Bye.
Deuces.